Okay, number one is just simplify this expression. Okay, so 1 plus cotangent squared. Can you look on your sheet? 1 plus cotangent squared. Can you make any replacements with that? 1 plus cotangent squared. Looks exactly like the bottom one there. So you can replace it with a cosecant squared. Okay, so I found that on my formula sheet, so I can replace it. Okay, what is this the flip of? Did you pick sine? Okay, so now this makes a cos squared on the top and a sine squared on the bottom. Do you know which answer that matches? What do you think that one looks like? Option C, cotangent, right? Because tan was with a sine and then a cos, so cotangent is the flip of that. Okay, number 2. Ooh, which side looks more complicated? Probably that one.
Which side?
They both look complicated?
No, I didn't think they looked that hard on either side.
I think that I'm going to have to work on this side because this one looks more like put together, more simplified. Okay, my goal is, can we work to make everything look like a sine or a cosine? Okay, so here I go. So sine x, I'm just going to write it over 1. So I didn't do anything to that. Plus tangent. What are you going to do with the tangent? Sine x over cos x.
Where are you getting
This. This.
Oh.
That's all I did. I replaced that tan with that. That's all I've done right there. We okay with that? Yeah. The sine x I left, but I just wrote it over 1 because I knew I'm just going to work with a bunch of fractions. Okay, you ready for the bottom stuff? Cotangent. How do you write it? Using coses and sines. Cos x over sine x. Cosecant is 1 over sine x. Okay, now how do I put those together on the top? Looks like I'm going to need to make this denominator a cos x, which means I'm going to also have to do that times a cos x. Okay, so this will look like this. Cos x sine x plus sine x all over cos x. That's just the top part. You see it? Cos x sine x plus the sine x. And then the bottom is now just cos x. All of that, so that's just the top. That was just the top. Now I still have the bottom. Hey, look, it's all over sine x, so that's nice. So cos x plus 1 over sine x. Okay, we okay with what that looks like? We're gonna now take this whole thing, and instead of the dividing fractions, can you make it times with a flip? So fraction division, you times and you flip. Okay. Right now I have nothing going on that I can do. Anybody see one thing to work with? There's nothing that cancels right now. Nothing helps me. Anybody see one thing? Has to do with this.
The slimes added together?
I could factor it. Which style is that? I could GCF it. What can you take out of that group? Sine x. Okay, what do you have left if you take out a sine x? Cos x plus 1. If you take a sine x, this is a cos. If you take a sine x divided by sine x, you get 1. Okay, now that helps. Guess what? Cos x plus 1.
How can the sin x get rid of both sides?
I just got rid of the cos x plus 1.
No, but how did you factor the sin x out? There's two sin x.
I GCF'd a sine x out.
Yeah, there's still one left though.
Over here. Is that what you
No,
mean?
in that,
No, on the same side, because it's
Same
cos
side.
x sin x plus sin x.
Okay, FOIL, when I have this,
Foil, can you use the tin foil?
if I have this, can you FOIL that out for me? What do you get?
Power.
What do you get?
Yeah.
You get sine x cosine x plus sine x.
Oh my god.
You see it? When you say a GCF, when you take something out, it's dividing it out. So in the first term, if I divide this by sine x, I get a cos x. If I take this term and divide it by sine x, it gives me 1. Okay? If you're confused about GCFs, you can always double check that what you have multiplies back. Okay. Ready? What do I have left? I canceled those. So I have this and this left, which is sine squared x. I have that left. And all I have left on the bottom is cos x. And what did we do?
I don't know.
The correct answer is QED. Got it.
We
Correct
did
answer.
it. We matched it. We made it look like that side.
Thank you. I cracked the code.
You made it match.
I made it up. And you will with practice. It will be practice. Okay.
4 years of college
Let's
education.
do.
I don't think we can handle that.
I don't think this is
Look at
good.
it. Just look at it.
I'm gonna just take a break first.
This is not going good.
Okay. We're gonna pause.